Hi, my name is Beth Mosier, and I am the Naugle Hall RD. We usually do this all-hall meeting all together in Palmer Hall or some other large venue, but obviously we're going to adapt, like we're adapting everything to COVID-19 specifications. So we are going to cover a lot of good topics. So bear with me and we'll go from there. It's going to be great. You're going to learn about policies, procedures, specific to both the college and the res hall. And you'll get to meet people that will help you along your way and just really important faces to know. So here we go. So like any good meeting, there is an agenda that this will follow. So like I said, I will introduce you to some faces you'll want to know in the Naugle team. So like the Naugle team is the RA staff of Naugle, resident assistants. I am Beth, I am the residence director, and I'll tell you a little bit about those two differences in a moment. Ooh, this is going to be a journey. I'll also introduce you to people and campus partners you should know, common spaces that we should treat well and how you should treat them well, standards of conduct that apply to all Messiah College students, but we'll parse through what they are, what they should mean to you, how to abide by them. We'll address safety, physical, specifically, and then we'll talk about interpersonal safety, which is emotional, spiritually, emotional safety. We'll go through some things that might be a little bit of a review, but depending on when you are listening to this, but it might be brand new information. So we'll just touch on it, and then we'll have some finishing touches at the end. Whew, we're already doing great. Like I said, I am Beth Mosier. I am the Naugle Hall Residence Director. So a Residence Director is a live-in professional. We all have our master's degrees. There's 8 of us on campus. We supervise the RAs, hear conduct cases. We sit on different community of educator committees. We meet with students for academic updates. We make sure that everyone is basically more than just surviving, but thriving, healthy, abiding by policies, making connections, and really feeling a part of the Messiah University community. So things you can know about me: I grew up in the Midwest in Michigan. I came here for college, moved to Connecticut, and was there for 10 years of my adult life. I had a brief stint in Indiana and then came back to Pennsylvania. Woohoo! I have a master's in counseling, but I have not used it formally. I worked as a social worker for an AIDS nonprofit for over 6 years in Hartford, Connecticut, and I loved it. It shaped so much about me. I moved to Naugle, this residence, in June after being in Whitmer Hall for 3 years. Unfortunately, we don't have res hall games this year, which is so sad, but Whitmer and Naugle are kind of each other's biggest rivals, and Bittner just kind of waits for the invitation to the party. I love running, lifting, biking, Zumba, pretty much anything active. I'm obsessed with dogs, live on iced coffee, love to talk about so many things, but especially public health issues, politics, current events, pop culture. Speaking of pop culture, Baby Yoda, you might have seen him in a few of our videos, and if not, you will. I am a 4 on the Enneagram. I don't know if Enneagram was popular in high school, but it's pretty big on college campuses, and it's just a really cool, in-depth way to know more about your personality and what makes up the core of you. One of the highlights from this past summer was welcoming my second nephew. I love being an aunt, and so I am an aunt to Jack and Thomas. And my favorite verse is Romans 5:20. You should look that up, especially the Message version. I really just love the Apostle Paul, and the way that he teaches just speaks to so much of my soul and how to live as a Christian. So, all that to say, that is me. I have an office that is off the main lobby on the first floor, and also an apartment that takes up half of the beginning of 1B. So, yeah, I'm here in the building. You can't escape me. Okay. So our Welcome Week theme is Becoming You. There is so much flux in the world right now and in our country. Our various communities have been impacted greatly, and we're all dealing with our own personal highs and low points. Transitioning to university life is a process. In the coming days, weeks, and months, may we progress through becoming more wholly human, growing in our personal identity, building strong communities on campus, and finding purpose that serves God and others. So you'll be exploring these themes and what becoming you looks like through the gathering place and the first year programming. So one opportunity to create a close niche with other friends and floor mates is through the gathering place meetings. This series will meet once a week through the first 6 weeks of the semester. You'll be grouped with your floor mates, be paired with a co-curricular educator, and you'll discuss various important topics, ranging from faith development to engaging in difficult conversations. The Naugle Hall theme and the Student Success and Engagement theme is Courageous Humility. What does it look like to be humble in our courage or courageous in our humility? Sometimes it's not easy to do things that put others first or puts the community ahead of our own thoughts, beliefs, or preferences, but it takes courage to do that, and we are modeling off of Christ, who humbled himself even to death. One thing to note, so we have a lot of different themes happening between Welcome Week and Naugle, but your RA has also thought really intentionally and really hard about what kind of environment they want to have on their floors, and they will all have a theme that they will talk to you about at some point in the next week or so. Okay, this was the slide I was looking for. So when I talk about RAs, I'm talking about resident assistants. These are student leaders on campus, sophomores, juniors, seniors, who live with you, who live alongside you, who try to build community with either all of you or some of you or connect you to others. They put on programming, fun activities, weekly chats. They want to get to know you. They want you to get to know them and the other people on their floor. They do walk and they are on clock to answer any questions. Address any emergencies. So if you're locked out, if you have some type of mental health issue or physical issue, they have numbers that you can access someone every night between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. to help you. They are all the most phenomenal human beings. I've learned so much from them in the past 2 weeks of training, and I think that you are going to grow to love them. You will have one RA per your floor, but you will see all of them either when we reinstate the walk through the buildings or just in passing. So feel free to say hi and get to know them. So from left to right, they are actually pretty mad at me that I used these pictures, but you know what? I didn't have pictures of them when I did this, so they'll live. Left to right, basement A is Josh Murray. 1A RA, Jonathan Wilkerson. 2A is Maddie Schaefer. She is the senior resident assistant and has a few more administrative tasks and will also hold office hours in my office, so you'll also see her name on the door, and she's a really great resource and someone to talk to and connect with. She's been an RA for 3 years. The 3A RA is Emma Britton. On basement B, we have John Sison. 1B, we have Pauline Ducho. 2B, Pearson Kester, and 3B is Pa Mua. They are wonderful. They are your Naugle RA staff, and they are so excited to meet you. They've really been working so hard. Like I said, the RA on clock number is really important, so you should definitely put it in your phone for easy access. It's also posted along the buildings. It is 717-796-4179. It is every day there is someone on clock. The purpose is for lockouts, to be a resource if you have any type of question, a maintenance concern, a facilities issue. They can at least look over stuff and connect you. Any emergency, like I said, if you're not feeling well, if you've broken a bone, they might not be able to do everything, but they can call, they can reassure you, they can comfort you, and they have a great chain of command that includes RDs and safety and other school administrators that can help you and get you the best care possible. So 717-796-4179, the RA on clock. Campus events. This is also a really important face. I actually don't have the other gentleman who works in campus events, but Stacy Portco and Bob Madden are the campus events workers that are assigned to Naugle Hall. Stacy and Bob will be on your floors between 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. They are really amazing. They clean bathrooms, they vacuum, they take out trash. They really just keep the building in great shape. So please respect them. You know, when we have signs posted about what to do with your trash, how to dispose of your trash, and how to keep your residences clean, you're also respecting them and making their jobs a little bit easier. They also have student staff that will come in and also be cleaning the halls, but they are the main support people. And you can find Stacy. Her office is right off the main lobby also, but it's more front and center, so you can see it directly. She has a lot of cute decorations. So that is Stacy. One thing that they'll want to reinforce, school furniture must stay in your room. You can do any type of maintenance request, so anything that doesn't need cleaning, but if something is chipped or broken or just something breaks in the bathroom or your room or the halls, you can access maintenance requests on Falcon Link. Don't prop outside doors. And again, please make sure you clean up after yourselves and respect our campus events workers. Oh, geez, we've lost the plot here. Okay, so the past year, the Department of Safety has implemented a boot system. They've revised their parking protocol, which enables the university to more consistently promote campus safety and fair parking across campus. If you have a car and you have it registered and it is parked in your assigned lot, you will not be subject to any parking citations. But students or employees who use an unregistered car or you park in lots that are not assigned to you, after a 5th citation or parking ticket, you will be subject to getting a boot placed on your vehicle and having to pay a $50 boot removal fee. This has happened. It is not great. But this enforcement helps to promote safety. It enables the university to locate vehicle owners for emergencies like snow removal, which happens a lot, flooding, etc. It also promotes fairness, allowing students and employees who do register their vehicles to be able to park in their assigned lot without it being full because of illegally parked vehicles. Questions? Call safety or visit their page on the university website. Their number, if you dial from a campus phone, it is 6005. But if you are dialing, you can put it in your cell phone. It's 717-691-6005. Oh, the Engel Center. We love the Engel Center so much, so maybe I should go back a bit. So you see that they offer counseling and health services. So counseling services, this is different this year, so definitely pay attention. Counseling services are located in the Kleiman-Haga Homestead and in the Hoffman building. So those are buildings. Hoffman is in the middle of campus. It's about to be torn down, but it's not yet. And then Kleiman-Haga Homestead is down kind of off the breaches near the Starry Athletic Fields. Counseling services will be able to provide both in-person and telehealth mental health counseling sessions this semester. And students can make appointment with counselors by calling 717-796-5357, or you can go to the Kleiman-Haga Homestead. Due to COVID-19, during the 2020-2021 school year, all charges for counseling appointments will be waived. So in the past, there has been the first 6 sessions free, and then there would be a small copay, but that is being waived due to the 2020-2021 academic year challenges. So, and if this is all online, Messiah has a very beautiful, very well-maintained website. So if you go to the Messiah University homepage, you can look on the top for current students, and then it'll bring up different things, or you could also search in the search bar for counseling and or health services. It'll probably just be under Engel Center. Health services is in the main building, which is a little bit past the Union, located near Jordan and Klein. In the past, Engel Center has housed counseling and their health services there, but they've expanded their services. So this year, the Engel Center main building will be split into 2 sides, a well side and a respiratory illness side. Daily COVID screenings via the app, temperature and symptom screenings must be reported daily. That comes and is requested by their office. So make sure you're going on Falcon Link and checking on temperature checks or temperature screening. You can put that in the search. You must record your temperature every single day without fail before noon. COVID-related questions can be sent to COVID triage nurse at messiah.edu. If you have questions or concerns or just wondering, maybe you don't have a fever, but you have some other symptoms going on and you're just not sure, it's the flu or allergies or COVID, please email them and they will be in touch with you ASAP. You can self-schedule appointments. No, you can't. Sorry, this is what happens when I don't read. So the self-scheduling ability that students used to have is disabled, and you must schedule all appointments to be seen via phone or email. Routine care will still take place. Some appointments will be through telehealth in an effort to keep well people out of the building. So if you are being seen for like stomach issues or GI upset or, a broken bone or getting stitches removed, I don't know if we do broken bones, but if you wanted to get stitches out or just had a question non-related to a respiratory illness, you would be seen by the well side. And if you have some respiratory symptoms, coughing, shortness of breath, and anything related to, typical COVID symptoms, sore throat, that kind of thing, you would be seen on the respiratory illness side. If you have questions, I know there is so much, but there's also parsed out on the website, and they've done a great job explaining how to get in touch with them. We really want to make sure that people are well, and if they aren't, that they are being seen ASAP and assessing your symptoms as needed. Whew! We're moving along, folks. Oh, Sage! We love Sage. So another office that we want you to be familiar with is Sage. It is an educational program at Messiah University. It stands for Sexuality and Gender Education. It exists to provide opportunities for enhanced care and support for students while cultivating learning and leadership development. And they focus on the broad themes of relationships, sexuality, and gender, rooted in Messiah's biblical understanding and the values that flow out of our Christian identity and mission. It's been restructured this year. It's now called Sage Connect and also Sage Prism. Sage Prism meets regularly to discuss LGBTQ plus topics related to sexuality and gender and the LGBTQ spectrum. And Sage Connects meets to discuss sexuality and gender broadly. So this sounds vague, but you'll be hearing a lot from them and getting notifications in different capacities, either through Canvas or your email, about how to connect with them. They are incredible, and it's just a really great, important organization that we have on campus. Oh, our Falcon commitment. So our commitment is what guides all of our behavior. As a student body, we are committed to honoring God, His creation, and other members of our community, and practicing integrity, respecting the dignity of each person as bearing God's image, and when these things don't happen, practicing reconciliation in the midst of brokenness. We hope that you are able to honor this commitment, that you take it seriously as a member of the Messiah University community, and that this commitment actually means something to you, that you can pick apart each phrase, that it's not just words that we're saying that sound cool or a fun poster, but something that we really want you to think deeply about and have conversations with people. Like, what does this look like to live out in real life and in a new setting? But it's just really beautiful, and its intent is also to honor God and to honor each other as bearing His likeness. Ooh, standards of conduct. Essentials for a safe, healthy, and fun year on campus. Here's the thing, friends. We want you to stay healthy. You need to do your temp checks. We don't want to have to leave the semester early. We know that it was so hard for all of you in high school. You lost so much of the end of your high school experience and probably graduation and proms and normal trips. And our students lost a lot here. After leaving for spring break, they didn't come back and didn't get to finish the beautiful semester and all the fun things that happen in the spring. So all this standards of conduct, take seriously. All these standards of conduct, take seriously. We just want people to stay on campus and to be healthy and thriving. So here we go. The printer. Oh boy, things are happening. Okay, room setup guidelines. This might have been helpful to tell you all before you came to college or before you started moving in, but here we are. The back wall of your room needs to be visible from the doorway, so you cannot have furniture blocking the window. You shouldn't store things on top of closets near sprinklers. This is an old building, in case you didn't notice. the sprinkler system can be a little bit trippy sometimes, and you don't want anything to trip those or damage those in any way. You cannot remove ceiling tiles, and all of the school furniture that is in your room must stay in your room. So if you are if you're two roommates and you're living in a triple, or there's three of you in a quad, sorry, you have to keep that extra piece of bedding and furniture in the dresser or desk in there. We don't have the capability or capacity to be removing furniture. So, sorry, you can make it cute. I have faith in you. Windows, keys, and sports. That is so random. Windows and keys. So with our windows, especially if you are on the ground level, please do not linger and have conversations through windows. Campus safety doesn't know if you are a student or an off-campus guest sometimes. We don't want anyone to be harassed or stalked, and so we don't always know the difference. So campus safety or an RA or RD will approach individuals who are talking outside the residence halls. Your window screens are not to be removed or used as an entrance or exit. We have doors, not windows for that. And be sure to lock your room and take your key with you. You will be charged if you are locked out of your room more than 3 times in a row, and you don't want that. Nobody has time for that. I don't want your money, and it doesn't go to me anyways. So take your key with you. Communicate with your roommate if you're going to be locking the room before they're prepared, because that does happen sometimes too with accidental lockouts. Hallways and water sports. So this is really important for men, but also women. To protect halls from damage, sports are not allowed in the hall. I once had to charge a whole Whitmer floor of men a decent amount of money because someone played golf when it was newly renovated, and there were golf ball dents, and you could tell like the little indentations all over the lounge, and it was terrible. It's so disrespectful to our facilities, but it's also just not right. You don't want to have to pay for damages. I don't want to charge you, so just don't play sports in the hall. We have a large and beautiful campus to play sports in and around. Water fights and throwing balls or other objects in or near residences is prohibited. So again, don't play golf off the side of our walls. Don't bounce tennis balls, whatever. Just don't do it. Throwing water or any other material at anyone who is not voluntarily participating in an outdoor activity is also prohibited. So no water sports, no sports, just no sports. Not in the halls anyway. Sorry. Ooh, miscellaneous. Let's see. So take out personal trash and recycling out to the dumpsters. We said that. Like we said, hallways need to be clear of items, 1 vacuum per floor, bathroom cleaning schedule. Man, I just am totally out of whack here. So, the biggest thing is definitely the trash, because that is definitely one of the biggest offenders on a res hall floor. Cool? Cool. Face masks. You have to wear them. We all have to wear them. This is part of our protecting our community. Where is my mask? Oh, yes. Okay. So, mask dues. This is really important. Social distancing is the best protection. However, we plan on layering safety measures, especially in instances where distancing is more difficult. So, basically, I don't know if you live in Pennsylvania, one of the biggest things that has been said over and over and over is that my mask protects you and your mask protects me. A lot of people think that they are being protected if they wear the mask. No, you are protecting others by wearing your mask. So masks help protect others by containing the respiratory droplets when the mask wearer speaks, coughs, or sneezes. So our expectations, Messiah community members are required to wear face masks. You're supposed to wear them indoors when other people are present. This includes common areas such as hallways, stairwells, restrooms, and elevators. And outdoors when maintaining a 6-foot distance from others at all times may not be possible. Residents will be expected to wear one's mask, whenever they're outside of their room. So anytime you're outside of your room, going to the bathroom, going to the lounge, you have to wear your mask. After the initial 2-week period, if campus is able to attain a COVID-19 free status, so no COVID, Hall floor residents may be able to go without masks on their floors during non-visitation hours, as the remainder of the floor will be considered their extended family. So we'll talk more about this. The goal is to get through 2 weeks with everybody wearing face masks all the time except with you and your roommate in your room. And then after the 2-week period, we might be able to lighten some of those restrictions when you are on your floor. See the infographic on how to wear your mask safely. You should clean your hands before you're touching it. Make sure your mask isn't damaged or dirty. Make sure it's not leaving gaps on the side and that it fits properly, that it covers your mouth, nose, and chin. People, it is not a chin guard. You're not leaving your nose exposed. It has to cover your nose, mouth, and chin. You shouldn't touch it. If you're adjusting it too much, it probably doesn't fit well, so you might need a different one. You should clean your hands with sanitizer or wash them before you remove the mask. Remove the mask by touching or using the straps behind the ears or the head. Put the mask away, pull it away from your face. Put it in a clean plastic bag if it's not dirty or wet and you plan to reuse it. And the biggest thing, you should wash it regularly. So you should definitely have more than one mask so you can wash yours or put it in the dirty laundry and have spares. And you should clean your hands after removing the mask. If you have any questions, you will probably be reminded by your RA many times, hopefully not too many. Hopefully it feels like a normal habit. And thank you in advance for keeping your community safe. Face mask don'ts. So kind of like I said before, don't wear a mask that looks damaged. Don't wear a loose mask. If it keeps sliding down over your nose, it doesn't fit. So try to find one that fits or adjust it so that the ear straps are a little bit tighter. Do not wear the mask under the nose. That defeats half the purpose because there are respiratory droplets that come out of your nose. So thank you. Do not remove the mask when there's people within 6 feet. Do not use a mask that is difficult to breathe through. Don't wear a dirty or wet mask. And do not share your mask with others. That's disgusting. You wouldn't share your underwear with others. Don't share your mask with others. And again, my mask protects you. Your mask protects me. Visitation. Okay, for the first 2 weeks, this is very different. And this is important for everybody to know. For the first 2 weeks, there is no visitation. On your floor, masks are to be worn whenever you are outside of your room, including the floor lounge, the hallway, the bathroom if you're not brushing your teeth, or in the shower. And you may not enter a floor or apartment or a house if you do not reside there. We have apartments and then special interest houses that you might be aware of, but you can't enter them because they are not your floor. If the campus remains free of COVID after 2 weeks, visitation will resume with modified parameters outlined in the following slides. The earliest date would then be September 8th if things go well, and visitation will begin the weekend of September 11th. So this is really important for visitation. Federal and state guidance on reopening safely instructs institutions to limit visitors and non-essential personnel in residential spaces. Ideally, the nuclear and extended family units should remain closed to others, but we realize this is challenging in a community such as ours. For this reason, we have a phased approach to visitation that will better ensure the health and safety of all. It's not because we don't want men and women hanging out. This is new because we are really just trying to give everyone a fighting chance to being here for longer than 2 weeks. So like we said, students must not enter a floor if they do not reside there, and we will see what happens after 2 weeks. Next slide. Oh, visitation. Edna. We love Edna. So, when a visitation is back, so hopefully September 8th, but we will all let you know. There will be lots of communication around it. There will be modified visitation hours. This is, again, phase 2, possibly after the first 2 weeks. Visitation hours will apply for first-year upper class and apartment houses. Visitation hours are Friday or will be Fridays from 7 to 12 a.m., 7 p.m. to 12 a.m., Saturday noon to 12 a.m., and Sunday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is pretty similar to what's been in the past, except there used to be Wednesday night visitation in the first year hall, that is not happening. Just, again, we want to mitigate and not spread COVID. And so these are some of the approaches that we are taking. Let's see. A few notes for visitation when it happens again. Doors need to be open 2 feet. Lights need to be kept on. Behavior must be appropriate. And stairwells are meant for climbing and not hanging out. It is also a fire hazard, so you may not hang out in the stairwells. More visitation. This is important. Both the host and the visiting residential students must wear masks during the duration of the visit. So this is when you're able to have visitation. The host and the visiting residential guests, so on-campus students, must wear masks during the visitation period. No off-campus visitors are permitted in university residences, including commuters and student family members. Fellow on-campus residential students who are visiting, when allowed, so not during the first 2 weeks, they cannot have been exposed to someone with the virus, nor can they have had COVID-19 symptoms within 2 weeks prior to the visit. So you might have to have some conversations. They might derail your plans a bit if you get answers you don't want, but really honesty and screening are the best 2 policies. Visitors must remain a falcon wingspan apart and should not share furniture, and furniture should be disinfected immediately after use. So you cannot share a bed, a couch, anything like that. Sorry. Visitors are not permitted to be in the floor lounges or the hall lobbies, so they can only be in your rooms. Let's see. Visitors must use the hall public restrooms. They cannot use your floor restroom. Again, we're just trying to keep it within the families. There will be limits to how many people you can have in your room. So if you are in a double room as a single person, so there are double rooms that would hold 2 people, you can have 3 people in that room. If you are in a double room, hold on. Let me make sure I have this right. So there's a maximum of 3 individuals in a traditional residence hall room, single or double, and then 4 individuals in a triple room. If you are in one of the Naugle singles, you can only have 1 extra person in there because those rooms are tiny and you can't safely socially distance in those smaller rooms. So, residents in apartments, you don't have to worry about that. RAs, when we have a different phase of visitation, right now, just your RAs will be doing walkthroughs of the floor to make sure that everybody is safe. But when we have a different phase of visitation, you'll see both gender RAs walking around the floors. They perform rounds throughout the floor in buildings, but they will also be wearing protective cloth masks. They'll be wearing masks, and they will announce their presence on the hall. And again, all of this visitation is subject to change. Adjustments may be made as necessary for health and safety reasons. Other authorized campus employees will also be permitted access to residential spaces on an as-needed basis with health and safety requirements in place. That was not super clear. If you have questions about the double room and triple room capacities, I'll send out more clarifying info. But 3 individuals in a single or double room, and then 4 individuals in a triple or larger. And if you're in the tiny single, you only get 1 guest. Sorry. So max limit is 3, and 4 in the triple, 2 in a tiny single. Whew. Anyone need a stretch break? I do. You are all champs. Go back. So quiet hours, Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., Friday, Saturday, starting at midnight to 10 a.m. We do have such thing as 24-hour respect hours. So even if you think that, you're playing your music a little bit loud, but it's 5 p.m., if someone can hear your bass vibrating through the wall next door and they ask you to turn your music down, we ask that you do respect that. You are allowed to play music and to have fun in your rooms, to talk on the phone, but please be respectful of other people around you. And if they have a request, please honor it. If you feel like you can't, talk to your RA and we can go from there. So 24/7 respect hours. Woohoo! Modesty. So erring on the side of modesty, We just know that there are employees that can enter the residence hall spaces to do specific work. So like we said, sometimes we have campus safety that comes through. We have campus events that comes through to do work. I might need to be in the hall to help facilities with something. So help us avoid awkward situations by wearing appropriate clothing. Make sure that you are in more than a towel when you are walking to the bathroom. Let's see, Naugle Lawn is not a beach, so men need to be wearing a shirt. Women, cover your torso, no bikinis. There is a no nudity expectation everywhere except inside your room and the bathroom. Obviously, you have to change and shower, all that good stuff. Out of courtesy for students, campus events workers will do their best to refrain from working on the floors until 9 a.m. because they just don't want to be in awkward situations either. Things to mail back home. All right, so you might have come on campus and you might have any one of these items. You're going to have to ship it back, folks. So right here we have our precious dog. Sorry, I love dogs so much, but you cannot have one on campus. You can only have a non-carnivorous fish. So you are allowed to have fish as long as they're non-carnivorous, so no piranhas or whatever kind of beastly fish eat each other. I don't know. So no pets except non-carnivorous fish. You can have a little Nemo. No fireworks. Hopefully that is obvious. You may not have candles. You can have wickless candles that are burned on candle warmers, but you cannot have anything with a flame. And these spider lamps, I don't know if they're popular. I feel like they're kind of like not as popular, but they are a fire hazard, and you cannot have those. The most you can have is 2 or 3. You cannot have any alcohol, beer, wine, hard liquor. Ship it on back home. You may not have more alcohol, so really just no alcohol of any kind. It is a dry campus, and you are all under 21 anyways, so even if it was not, you wouldn't be able to drink. No cigarettes, no weed, no vaping, none of that. This includes Juuls, e-cigarettes, any type of tobacco or marijuana product or paraphernalia. Just send it back home. Don't have it. Just get rid of it. We have a zero tolerance policy. So if you're found with any type of illegal drugs or alcohol, we do have pretty significant repercussions. You'd go through the conduct process, and depending on the situation, we have a variety of different outcomes. Drugs are especially zero tolerance. We do call up Allen police when there are drugs on campus, and you don't want to have to deal with that either. It's not worth it. Zero tolerance. So this is going to be a little bit contradictory. If you are 21, you can consume alcohol on breaks. So summer and Christmas time when you are not enrolled in classes, if you are with your parents or guardians, or if you are taking communion. Those are the only exceptions to our alcohol policy, and a zero tolerance policy, like I said, for drugs. If you have questions about this, the alcohol policy is something that is pretty routinely debated on campus, and they've talked about changing it. It's a popular topic. You are welcome to have your opinions on it. I'm happy to dialogue with you about it. And the student handbook actually gives a really beautiful explanation why we have it. We don't believe that alcohol in and of itself is a sin, but we also follow federal guidelines, state guidelines, and realize that alcohol can just contribute to a ton of issues on the college campuses, like sexual assault, attrition, vandalism. You just don't want to deal with it. So there's beautiful rationales for it. I encourage you to read it and dialogue further if needed. So something that is related to some of the drug and alcohol conversations, we realize that people have all types of backgrounds and situations in their lives where maybe you have an alcohol addiction or you have an addiction to drugs. We want students to have the opportunity, and we want to encourage you to receive the best possible support and assistance in addressing any type of destructive behavior or an addiction. So students who take the initiative to ask for help in dealing with a problem, substance abuse issue, any type of addiction, and you acknowledge rule violations before they are confronted, will be dealt with through a counseling mode rather than a disciplinary mode. Students must take the first step and be willing to accept help. So if you have come to campus and you have an alcohol addiction, if you want help and you want to be connected to great treatment and support, you would talk to me, or you could talk to a counselor, and let them know, like, hey, I have this substance abuse issue or an alcohol use issue. I want help. We will give you the best help, and you will not be subjected to the disciplinary process. If you do go through, so say that you are caught on campus with alcohol, we will still give you great support and want you to give treatment, but you will also have certain sanctions that come along with the disciplinary process. So this growth initiative is growth-minded rather than disciplinary. You have to come forward before the university becomes aware of a situation. It is proactive rather than reactive. And then we do have confidential assistance available through the Engel Center. If you want to bypass your RD but want to talk about this with someone in the Engel Center, they are completely confidential in ways that your RD and your RAs are not. So, we want to help you. Please let us know if we can help you in any capacity. We also have, you can talk about sexual addictions. That is a thing. Porn addictions, alcohol, drugs, anything that would usually be a conduct issue. Please feel like you can talk to us and we can connect you with the best possible treatment. Let's take a deep breath. We are cruising. We are 41 minutes in. Bless your hearts. Hopefully you're learning a lot. This will be available for you to reference. And if anything feels unclear, again, read the student handbook, talk to me, talk to your RA. We love it. So safety. So we have a text alert system that is really important. You need to sign up for it as a new first year student. So go to Falcon Link, type in text alert system, and then it'll take you to the page where you fill in the appropriate information. You'll also receive an email at some point with instructions on how to sign up. It's really important that you sign up because this text alert system includes emergency crisis situations on campus, school delays or closings due to weather, and especially right now, updates concerning COVID-19. Fire safety, we have it. Here's the thing, especially in first year halls. When I was in Whitmer, and I think this is true of Naugle, we probably have had upwards of 8 to 15 fire alarm drills, especially in the first semester. It is fun the first time. It loses its appeal quickly because it's usually the middle of the night and you're either sleeping or studying or showering, and then you all have to trundle outside. It is not fun. You have to wait until safety comes and clears. And sometimes you just don't really know, like, maybe it's nothing's happened, or maybe someone left their mac and cheese in the microwave without water for too long, or it could be a real genuine fire. But these happen often, and so it's important that you know what to do. So upon hearing the fire alarm, you'll also see it. It's aggressive. You will immediately exit the building via the closest exit. Close your room door. Always assume it is a real fire. Cross the grass lawn to the sidewalk across Miller Hall. That's if you are on B side. So if you're on closest to B side, you'll go over to the Miller lawn, which is across the road. If you are on the A side, I reversed those. A side, go to Miller lawn. B side, go up to the Fry Apartments, kind of past the parking lot. Go up there if that is closer. You just need to be farther away so if fire trucks need to come, they have space and that you're also not in the line, literally, of fire. And then you will wait for approval to re-enter. So once safety comes in, make sure everything is okay. They or me will give you the all clear to re-enter the building. Clear? Cool. So going along with fire safety, again, things that prevent fire safety or promote fire safety. You cannot have candles unless they are wickless candles in a candle warmer. Please do not leave them unattended. There's still a slight fire hazard there. Do not store things near sprinklers. Do not daisy chain, which is connecting more than 3 extension cords into each other. No more than 3 strands of Christmas lights in your room, especially connected. Items like your fridge that are needing to be plugged in at all times, like your microwave, fridge, must be plugged directly into the wall. And then do not hang anything from the ceiling. If you are able to have, what are those called? Like fuse protectors, surge protectors to plug into, that is also helpful. But fridges and microwaves must be plugged into the wall. If you have any questions, please let your RA know. Based on these, they might ask you to make some adjustments in your room if they think something is a fire hazard. Please be mindful of those things and comply with their directives. Evacuation and lockdown, this is really related to an active shooter event, and you will have an active shooter training within the first month of school. So be on the lookout either for those emails, there'll be communications in your FYS. Evacuation and lockdown, get out. If you think through your living space and think of places where you can hide or exit quickly. So you want to get out, and in case of an active shooter, if you can't, make sure you can lock your room and that you know how to do that. If there's places where you can lock them out. If you feel very brave, you can find ways to take them out, but really make sure you have some type of evacuation plan and look for more communication from the Department of Safety in regards to the active shooter training. It's terrible to talk about, but we just want to make sure that we're prepared in any of its instance or event of an active shooter on campus. And that's also a really important reason why you should be signed up for the text alerts. Interpersonal safety. Oh, we are getting near the end. I mean, I'm having fun, but I don't know if you are. So, sexual assault, sexual harassment, stalking, and interpersonal violence. We are not for any of those things. My good friend Hannah McBride probably has led you through, or you've heard her lead you through, some wonderful training on all of this. She is an expert, and she is so good at what she does. But just to reiterate, if this is new or just confusing, Messiah University is committed to maintaining a campus community and educational environment that is conducive to learning for all students and fosters professional excellence for all employees. As part of this commitment, the university prohibits discrimination, discriminatory harassment, and sexual harassment, including any type of sexual violence or sexual misconduct. Come to an RA or an RD for help connecting with a campus administrator for help if you feel that you have experienced any type of discrimination or sexual violence or misconduct. Private versus confidential. Residence life personnel, so RAs, RDs, the director of Res Life, we all promise to be private. We will be discreet. We will not share information with anyone who does not need to know, but we cannot promise confidentiality. Confidential resources on campus include the Engel Center counselors and Hannah McBride. We don't currently have a campus pastor, but he was also a confidential resource on campus. So confidential versus private. Res Life is private. Engel Center and Hannah McBride are confidential resources on campus. Hannah, again, is the coordinator of interpersonal violence, prevention, and education, and does tons of trainings on Title IX. And this fulfills our Title IX federal requirements. So that is important to us. Actually, very, very key and important to us. Mental health. So we touched on this a little bit when I was introducing the Engel Center. We understand, it is normal to struggle. It is normal to have mental health issues, to have a mental health diagnosis, to struggle, to have any type of depression, anxiety, whether it be something you've dealt with forever or just something that is new. Moving to college is stressful. I mean, there's a huge time of transition, of homesickness, of adjustment, especially during a global pandemic. So we just want to make sure that you know that mental health is a part of life, and we're here to help you through it. There's always someone that is available to help you. You can utilize the RA on clock system, especially after hours if you're not able to get to an Engel Center counselor more readily. Again, residence life personnel promises to be private, but we cannot promise confidentiality. And we do need to reach out to other personnel if you indicate that you are suicidal or a harm to yourself or others. Confidential resources on campus, again, are Engel Center counselors and Hannah McBride. If you have any questions on how to get connected to Engel Center, or you want someone to just sit with you or walk you over, or introduce you to someone, I'd be more than happy to do that. We just want to make sure there are no barriers to getting the mental health care that you need. Medical amnesty. So this could go along with our previous slides on the growth initiative. The medical amnesty policy is so important because safety is always our first priority. Students, regardless of age, will be granted immunity from college disciplinary proceedings for the possession or consumption of alcohol if the Department of Safety, Res Life, or other university official becomes aware of the possession or consumption solely because the individual was seeking medical assistance for someone else. The person seeking assistance must reasonably believe that he or she is the first to call for assistance, must use his or her own name with the authorities, and must stay with the individual needing medical assistance until help arrives. You can see the student handbook for the full description. So basically, if you're in a situation where you've been drinking, if you've been doing drugs, and someone has passed out and needs medical attention, this is life or death, and you're like, I don't want to call because I don't want to get in trouble. We care about people's safety first. You will be granted immunity from college disciplinary proceedings if you call the Department of Safety, if you call Res Life or another university official, you stay with the person that is in need of assistance, and you use your own name with authorities. This does not absolve you from any legal ramifications. There might still be an issue there, but you will be exempt from college disciplinary proceedings. If you have any questions, it's really laid out well in the handbook, but we just want to make sure that safety is always a priority and that you know that if you are ever in a dangerous situation. Wow, finishing touches. We are almost done. Okay. Thank you all so much. You've covered so much information. If you have any questions or concerns, again, see your RA. You will have time to speak with them in our Sunday sessions when you're talking about the Living in Community Covenant and Code of Conduct. Going back, hopefully we'll have a picnic in September and ways to connect outside. And then we also have a great program called College Life Hacks that always happens in September, and it's really meant to give you some tips and tricks on studying, how to connect with professors, how to deal with stress or anxiety, and just really good tools to help you succeed. We have different people from our own campus that can speak to those areas, and you will get lots more information in the weeks to come. Let's make sure that we get there in the weeks to come. Let's make sure we stay COVID-free, that we follow the masks and the social distancing protocol, and that we just look out for one another. We want to be here, and we want you to have a really great transition to college. All right, that is it. If you have any questions, see your RA, email me, stop by to talk to me, and now you'll take the quiz, and we'll see how much of that 52-minute presentation you have retained. Hey, thank you all so much. Again, I am Beth Mosier. I'm the Naugle Hall RD, and I look forward to having a great year with you all. Thank you.